Good morning. Welcome into Good Day Lubbock on this Wednesday. I'm James Epler.
Good morning to you. I'm Kristen Carroll. Just ahead this morning.
We have to do a better job of identifying those kids that are at risk and providing them opportunities or outlets besides getting involved in those gang and drugs.
A new crime report detailing challenges facing Lubbock police and why the chief says they need your help.
We need to wait a little while till we get some room. Right now it's just so crowded with students.
Major changes coming to Friendship ISD, how the district plans to expand to adjust to a growing population and the timeline for new campuses.
And a live report on a house fire burning in South Lubbock, what we're hearing from crews out at the scene. And the years-long efforts in Beijing to reduce air pollution for the Winter Olympics. Those stories and more to come right away. But first, let's go ahead and check in with Steve on your forecast.
Thank you. Now 1 minute past 8. It's cold out there right now, but we have clear skies, and that's going to help with a warm-up coming our way. We also may see a few of these high clouds in the north work into our sky later today, but even with that, sunny, dry conditions for us. Temperatures right now at our regional airports, 20s for the most part up here on the Cap Rock, Lubbock at 25, Seminoles at 30, and then we have readings close to the freezing mark off the Cap Rock early this morning. Winds generally less than 10 miles per hour, but the Plainview wind chill reading is 13, Lubbock is 17, Lamesa right now 15. After this cold start with the sunshine, highs this afternoon back in the 60s. Lubbock will top out at about 65 degrees and winds generally light. It's going to be a really nice afternoon. I'll be back with a look at some warmer and colder weather to come.
Thank you so much, Steve. Following some breaking news out of South Lubbock right now.
Angie Wynn brings us the latest from the News Now desk. Angie.
Kristen and James, right now Lubbock Fire Rescue is on scene of a house fire in South Lubbock. It was just after 7 when they responded to a home between Avenue P and the interstate. This is video you're seeing of the blaze from our tower cam. It's unclear if anyone was inside the home or if they were able to get out. Details are limited. However, our morning reporter Bobby Benally is live at the scene. We'll send it over to him now. Bobby?
Yeah, good morning, Angie. You can take a look right now. You can see firefighters still trying to clear out the scene as we speak. This, as you said, like you said, just happened just after 7 o'clock, and right now we're still seeing firefighters just clean up. They put out extinguished the fire already, and we can see from pretty much just from the front door. Whenever I first showed up, they had firefighters inside the garage and in the backyard as well. Now, according to scanner traffic, they did say on the scanners that there was injuries, but we cannot confirm that at this time. But as of right now, firefighters still just clearing the scene right now, but the fire has been extinguished, and as well, I see fire marshals as well. Animal control is just left as also, but that is all the information we have right now, and I'll send it back to you, James and Kristen.
Thank you so much, Bobby. We'll have that update a little bit later as well. Lubbock Police Chief Floyd Mitchell says his department needs the community's help. While reports show a decrease in property crimes and homicides from 2020 to 2021, other areas are seeing an increase.
Our Case Wilbanks tells us the improvements that have been made and what still needs to be done.
What the council did and is really looking at the bottom of the entry-level police officer pay, that is starting to bear fruit.
And as Lubbock's police chief thanked the council for that boost in officer pay, he told them about the situation his staff in the city faced in 2021. He says among the top 10 calls for service were increases in traffic crashes, reckless drivers, and hit and runs. But as those officers responded to those and other calls, he said they did it quicker than in 2020 in dispatching and response, an average of about a minute less, crediting the patrol division format, additional dispatch channel, and 8-hour officer shifts.
And what is reasonable across policing in the United States is trying to have the officer's response time less than 5 minutes, and we were able to accomplish that.
Where the chief sees some crime decreasing, nearly 10% less in property crime last year, attributing that to the officer's ability to be seen and initiate interaction with the community when they couldn't in 2020 due to COVID.
And even growing over the last 2 years, we saw almost a 20% over the last 2 years in a drop in property crimes, of reported property crimes.
The department also calculates a slight decrease in crimes against persons, including homicides, with 31 in 2021, saying only 2 drive-by shootings are still without a suspect identified.
This speaks to the level of professionalism, tenacity, and dedication of the men and women of Lubbock Police Department, and of the Metro Squad.
And the chief turned to gang activity and the challenge the department and partner law enforcement face.
The number of young folks that are involved in that. We have to do a better job of identifying those kids that are at risk and providing them opportunities or outlets besides getting involved in those gang and drugs.
With questions of whether a curfew ordinance can be better enforced, the chief says keeping kids out of trouble can't be solved by just officers.
Just those neighborhood, people that know what's going on, taking a stronger role, identifying these kids that are at risk and trying to help them get out of those difficult situations.
Gangs aren't the only problem on the streets of Lubbock. The chief says speeding and drunk drivers have led to a growing problem, leaving 47 people killed in traffic crashes.
We've got to get people to slow down on our roadways. There's absolutely no reason why we should have had 47 fatalities on our roadways last year.
The chief says he's looking forward to a growing staff to keep the city safe.
I am pleased with the direction that we're going, but there's still work to be done.
Case Wilbanks, Good Day Lubbock.
Well, prison staffers in Lubbock are working to make a difference in the community. Officers at the Montford unit created a new outreach program. They're focused on supporting one Lubbock charity a month. Now, they've collected nearly $500 worth of toys for the Children's Advocacy Center of Lubbock and served as guest chef night at the Ronald McDonald House. Now, staffers are gathering donations through a canned food drive for the Children's Home of Lubbock.
Our goal is to make a change one organization at a time, 1 month at a time. So, like I said, we have all these employees out here who just give everything that they have, and we're making a huge change. So,
organizers say this is also an opportunity for the community to get to know the unit's correctional officers. If your organization needs support, the unit wants to expand its efforts, and we have their contact information at box34.com. A former police officer will declare his candidacy to represent Northeast Lubbock since City Councilman Juan Chidas is not running for re-election. Pat Kelly is a 30-year veteran of the LPD and owns a construction company. He says his focus will be on stopping violent crime, stopping abortion, fighting appraisal creep, lowering property taxes, and lowering utility bills. Kelly says those are keeping people from owning homes in Lubbock. He will make his announcement on his candidacy in the City Council chambers at 10:30 tomorrow morning.
We have a Fox 34 follow-up on a shooting that happened near 48th and Dover just before midnight Monday. Police tell us they found 18-year-old Haley Graham hurt near Wester Elementary. She was taken to UMC, expected to be okay. No word on any arrests or a suspect as of this morning. Meanwhile, the Lubbock Anti-Gang Center conducted an operation near North Quaker and Erskine that resulted in the arrest and identification of 4 gang members, including a juvenile. Officers report finding 3 guns, 2 of which were reported stolen.
A Lubbock mother and father indicted accused of poisoning their baby last year. Prosecutors say Adam and Sarah Canales gave their 2-month-old Athena medicine that they knew kids should not take. Deputies found the girl's body at a home in Idalou last July. The couple admitted to giving the child Benadryl 2 or 3 times to get her to sleep. An autopsy showed drugs matching ZzzQuil, a cold medicine, and Benadryl in Athena's system at the time of her death. Deputies also say they found those same medicines in the home. Both parents could face trial for manslaughter. In a separate indictment, a Lubbock teenager is accused of killing one of his best friends. Detectives say Jaden Montalongo was playing with a gun when he shot 17-year-old Austin Cruz last month. This happened at a home on 9th Street east of Slide. Police say the two were in a bedroom when Montalongo showed off the pistol and unintentionally fired it, hitting Cruz in the head. He then died at the hospital. Montalongo turned himself in to the police, saying it was an accident and that Cruz was like a brother to him.
Police made an arrest in the investigation surrounding the death of 22-year-old Minneapolis man during a police raid. Prosecutors filed charges against 17-year-old Makai Speed, who is Amir Locke's cousin. He's wanted in connection with a murder. Investigators tracked him down to an apartment complex in Minneapolis. Police got search warrants for his apartment as well as for a neighboring one where his brother lived, and that's where Amir Locke was asleep on the couch when a SWAT team entered and shot and killed him in a no-knock entry. Students in the Twin Cities organized a walkout to show solidarity with Locke's family and demand greater police accountability.
Full transparency and a full overhaul and demilitarization of Minneapolis Police Department.
The city's mayor announced a full moratorium on no-knock warrants until the policy can be reviewed by outside experts.
Well, back here at home, major changes ahead at Friendship ISD as the district spends $300 million in bond money that voters approved back in 2020. So starting in 2023, a new campus will open each year. First, a 4th middle school, then in 2024, a 9th elementary, and in 2025, a 2nd high school. The 4th middle school will open in August. Now it's located between Alcove and Upland on 60th Street. Not far from the new middle school will be the 9th elementary on 58th. Superintendent Michelle McCord says later this year, parents will have the opportunity to share input for zoning and naming of each campus.
So beginning in September, October, we will present to the community at town hall meetings and such, to the Board of Trustees first, what some different options are. And so we'll be advertising that for parents. Also, we'll be getting their feedback. They may come up with an idea that we hadn't thought of.
Renovations for the current high school have not yet started. McCord says the upgrades will bring it up to the same level as the new high school.
The city of Lubbock reported 123 new COVID cases, no new deaths though. Most recent update from the city shows 137 people hospitalized with the virus, 39 in the ICU. 6 of those in the hospital are fully vaccinated. COVID's also having an impact on the Olympics in Beijing. 32 athletes are in isolation after testing positive. While the number is certainly cause for concern, health officials say case numbers are dropping inside the Olympic bubble. 50 athletes have been discharged from isolation. The airport has had no reported cases as of Monday's report. Since testing started January 23rd, there have been 159 positive cases among athletes, trainers, and other team officials. Immense air pollution in Beijing was a major concern ahead of these games.
Here's a look at how the country reduced greenhouse gas emissions to provide clear skies for the games and how much work still needs to be done.
Air pollution levels in China were so bad, smog made it almost impossible to see buildings and even the sun. But efforts to reduce harmful emissions in time for the Winter Olympics means blue skies for athletes.
Beijing's air quality really reached its worst point around 2012, 2013, and that's when public concern, public outrage about the issue reached a boiling point.
This is what much of Beijing looked like when it hosted the Summer Olympics back in 2008, a far cry from today's conditions. To get here, the Associated Press says Chinese officials enforced tighter restrictions on factories burning coal, reduced the number of vehicles allowed on roadways, improved methods for collecting and reporting air quality data, and more.
When there's an important episode, like an important political event in Beijing, or currently the Winter Olympics, the government will still order a shutdown of many of those largest emitters to ensure that you don't have a flare-up, a smog episode during that period.
On top of all this, Olympic officials say this year's Winter Games are on track to be carbon neutral, removing more carbon dioxide from the atmosphere than they admit, thanks to eco-friendly venues powered by renewable energy. But China still has a long way to go, according to the World Health Organization. Last year's average air pollution levels for Beijing were more than 6 times the recommended limit. Marianne Rafferty, Fox News.
Allsups is reportedly coming to Lubbock. How this location may be different than any others.
And how 2 brothers in Florida are hoping they just broke a world record with a daring flight. Plus, Steve will have a check of your full forecast after the break on Good Day Lubbock, now 8:14.
This is the First Alert Forecast with Steve Devine.
16 minutes past 8. Clear skies. Live tower cam looking out to the northwest towards the Texas Tech campus area. At the airport on the north end of town, we also have clear skies being reported. 25 degrees currently at the airport. Notice the light wind, but still the wind chill is in the teens. And at the Seminole Airport right now, 30 degrees. Current wind chill there is 23. And also at the Childress Airport, we have a temperature of 33, a light wind. Current wind chill there is 28. Now, the winds on the light side stay on the light side today, up to about 10 miles per hour. So that's quite a contrast to what we had yesterday when it got up rather windy for a while. So out of the south and southwest, keeps us dry here today. May have a few clouds, but generally a sunny afternoon. Highs will be back in the 60s, Lubbock at about 65 degrees. Typical high today is 59. By the way, the average that's the average high. The record high for today is 83 degrees on this date back in 1986. Typical low is 29. We'll be very close to that tomorrow morning. Low temperature about 28 degrees. And then just a little bit cooler, maybe not noticeable, with a high of 62, but it gets a little bit breezy at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. Winds will get a little bit stronger Friday, warming us to 71 degrees. Late in the afternoon, the arrival of a cold front. Winds will shift to the north. It'll get windy and it'll start turning much cooler. Right now, it looks like a very chilly, windy Friday evening. Dry conditions. But by Saturday morning, we may have a few flurries in the area, mainly the northwest part of the viewing area. I'm not expecting any accumulation, no travel issues because of that, nothing measurable. 27 degrees, and the wind, though, is going to feel very cold. The wind speeds will gradually diminish as we go through the day on Saturday, but still it'll be breezy in the afternoon. So 49 degrees in that breeze, very chilly, partly cloudy skies otherwise. Back in the 60s for highs Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We should be at least in the 60s, if not the 70s, just ahead of another cold front that will be moving into the area. And as these fronts approach, the winds pick up. In fact, Friday's wind here may be a little underdone for late in the afternoon. Most of the day, that 20 mile per hour range there will pretty much cover it. But right now, Tuesday is looking like our windiest day in this 7-day forecast.
Thank you so much, Steve. Allsups is coming to Lubbock, and some are calling this a game changer.
A source with Build Right Construction tells us the first Allsups will be at the corner of Broadway and University, and it won't be a typical convenience store at all. This Allsups will include a walk-up bar, a full kitchen and dining area. Sources tell us this is just the first of these, with more of these kinds of stores coming to our area. And the Amarillo City Council approved tax incentives to bring a Buc-ee's travel center to the Panhandle. The company plans to spend more than $30 million on this project. The agreement will refund the business share of sales taxes for 20 years. That could add up to $4.5 million. Proponents say local contractors will build the facility. The store is expected to hire 150 employees.
A Lubbock ISD elementary school honored one of its former students. Jennifer Coleman is a children's book author, came to Lubbock, came to celebrate Cowboy Day at Williams Elementary. She read her newest book and sang with the students, then signed copies of her book for them. Coleman attributes part of her success to a writing award she earned when she went to school out there.
Sometimes you don't know what seeds you plant till much later. Just evidenced by the fact there's a tree we planted in the front of the school when I was in 3rd grade. It didn't used to exist, but now it's this huge, beautiful tree, and that's very metaphorical for me. I was this little thing here, and now I've just grown and blossomed because of what I learned here at Williams.
The school added Coleman to its Hall of Honor, showing all Wildcats are capable of accomplishing extraordinary things. And by the way, her new book is called Come and Get It. Beyonce just snagged her first Oscar nomination, the movie the artist being recognized for.
And 2 zoos in Texas are getting in on Valentine's Day by allowing people to name cockroaches after their exes. Why one zoo manager is even promising to eat some of the bugs. Ugh, I'll tell you more about that next. It's now 8:20.
8:23, let's get into our trending stories. In the sky above Florida, a pair of brothers successfully completed a small plane flight blindfolded or box folded, and got space in a box.
It was just like blinded, I guess is what we could say.
That'd be best.
Okay.
The idea stemmed from stories they heard as children.
So I got this inspiration from the story of India of the king named Prithviraj Chauhan. He was able to aim and shoot an arrow blindfolded. And I was amazed how can a person being blindfolded can achieve such a task.
So Part Panchal and his brother Viyam trained in simulators for months, working out a system of commands and emergency protocols before pulling off this amazing feat, which they're hoping may land them in the record books. Don't want to fly on their plane. I'm worried enough on like a normal commercial flight.
Well, Valentine's Day is next Monday, and 2 zoos in Texas are allowing people to name cockroaches after their ex-lovers and then watch those cockroaches get fed to animals. And of course, this will be on Valentine's Day. While the concept isn't new, the San Antonio Zoo is getting in on the action for the first time this year. Website visitors can spend $5 to name a roach, or $25 if you want to choose a rat, then watch the cockroach or rat get devoured. This is something the El Paso Zoo did last year. It is continuing, only this time the zoo director there says he will eat a cockroach for every $1,000 that's been raised. Ugh. So far, he's up to 7. Both zoos promise the named animals are sourced humanely. So, maybe, if that's important to you before they get eaten by, zoo animals, then,
we want them to have a good life first. I'm trying to think, would I eat a cockroach for my charity, the one I'm involved with, Civic Lubbock? Would I eat a cockroach?
You wouldn't even eat a boiled egg.
No, I don't like boiled eggs, but would I eat a cockroach for $1,000 for my charity? Oh, I'm not saying I would. I'm having some soul searching right now. I'm wondering, because it's something I believe in.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
I don't know. I'm not sure I want to put that out there, but I'd think about it.
Maybe send in a request for that.
Yeah, I would not eat a rat though, so don't.
Oh gosh.
No, that's the other thing the zoo's doing. They're feeding rats. I don't think the zoo manager's eating any rats.
I wonder who has the job of making sure the cockroaches the names stick. Okay, that one's George. Okay, yeah. This one is Ryan.
Yeah, definitely at least 3 of them are named Kyle, or Chad. I'm guessing. Here's Chad number 1.
Probably some.
No offense to Kyles or Chads, but you get it. So your family's Disney photos could become a historical artifact at the Smithsonian. The Smithsonian National Museum of American History wants you to share pics from your visit to Disneyland or Disney World for a new project. They're looking for pictures from all decades to show how the theme park has changed over time. Candid photos, posed photos, even blurry ones are fair game. Be sure to share a story of what that visit meant to you. You can send your photos in now. We're not going to give you the whole long convoluted email address. Just Google it. You can find it. It's easy. Don't forget to include your name and the best way to reach you.
Well, Beyonce received her first nomination for an Academy Award. She was nominated for Best Original Song for co-writing Be Alive, which was featured in the movie King Richard. Her competition for the award includes Lin-Manuel Miranda and Billie Eilish. Beyonce, by the way, has already won 28 Grammys. She's also received Emmy nominations, but never won one of those yet.
Yeah, just give her more time. How about some celebrity birthdays? First up, Michael B. Jordan is 35.
And Tom Hiddleston turns 41 today.
And Oscar winner Joe Pesci, who has given the shortest Oscar speech on record.
Really?
When he won Best Supporting Actor for Goodfellas, he went up on stage, took his statue, and said, "It is my privilege. Thank you." And that was it.
No one's ever going to beat that. That's like 2.5 seconds.
Shortest Oscar speech ever.
Cool.
So a little trivia for you. We also have some local birthdays. Happy 10th birthday to Dax. That is from Bill.
And happy 11th birthday to Elise. I hope that is correct. This is from Mom, Dad, Popo, Grandma, brother, and sister. They say, happy birthday, princess.
Happy 17th birthday to Nathan Lopez from Nana, Gramps, your mom, Michael, Melody, Bianca, She, Bethany, and Dante. They all love you so much.
And a happy 5th birthday to Kaden McFarland. This is from Aunt Dee.
Love that. And if you want to let us know about a birthday, head over to fox34.com. Find the Good Day Lubbock section, fill out the little form. We can get your birthday on the air. A new report shows home can be very dangerous for small children.
Yeah, the number one thing that's causing deaths among little ones in the home and how you can prevent this tragedy. But first.
The president's top medical advisor thinks that we may be about to turn the corner on COVID. I'm Doug Luzader in Washington. We'll have more on some of the latest comments from Dr. Anthony Fauci just ahead.